I hate gift giving and receiving.
Receiving gifts is so weird. What do you say? Thank you?
This is Coffee Convos with Kail Lowry and Lindsie Chrisley.
I really want you to be in your feels, Kail.
That does not interest me whatsoever.
I feel very attacked by you.
A spirited discussion about motherhood, friendship, family, and life in the public eye.
I'm just not with the fakery anymore.
There's a fakery bakery around here.
Here's Kail and Lindsie.
Welcome to Coffee Combos.
Are you so happy?
Let me try that again. Welcome to Coffee Combos.
I think the first one was better.
I have a frog in my throat, like congestion or whatever. So I'm gonna work on that. But I'm not so happy. Hi, Lindsie. How are you? Good morning. Buenos dias.
Honey, I have had better days, but I am surviving today. I have been all over Atlanta. I made it back last night and have been all over Atlanta today, picked up the dog, picked up Jackson early from school because I got a suspicious call from the school nurse around 9:35 this morning, approximately. And she said, Jackson said that he was going to be with mom today. Is that correct? And I said, is. And she said, well, Jackson is saying that he's sneezing. And so
he missed you and he wanted to come home.
Uh-huh.
Got it. Did Georgia remember you?
She did. Her little tail was wagging whenever I showed up, and she was excited to get in the car. Although she probably thought, didn't recognize who I was, because this morning I showed up with curly hair and that's not the usual for her. And I also showed up in a new car. So she probably was like, okay, who is this lady? And why is she here to get me from my grandparents' house? I call the sitters that watch her grandparents because they're older, and she probably just gets away with whatever when she's there.
Oh yeah. They probably love her. I was going to say, it's funny that you said that the school nurse called you. So I guess Lincoln's on vacation with Javi, or was up until today. And so he wasn't he wasn't at school. And Joe called me last night and he was like, Kail, I'm pretty sure Maury said I'm not Lincoln's father. So can you let the school know not to call me? I guess they called him by accident because
oh my God.
The school systems are hooked up or whatever. I don't know why they would call him. Because Lincoln and Isaac don't even go to the same school, and they never have since elementary school. But he's like, Kail, let them know Maury said. And I was like, I will, I got you.
Oh my God. I love that so much. But it kind of reminds me of any time that Della has to go to PetSmart, because we use Banfield as our vet. And then also PetSmart grooming. I was trying the mobile groomer for a while, and then that just became a cluster because I feel like they're on their own time and on their own schedule. And it's at least PetSmart is consistent. You make an appointment and someone's going to be there to do that job. So regularly I will get notices from PetSmart, text notices. And it's Della is overdue for her annual visit or whatever. Or Della is ready to be picked up from grooming. And I'm like, Will, sir, are you answering your phone? Is she stranded? What is exactly happening? And also, in our paperwork that Della was treated like a child in our divorce. And
right.
I would love to know other people who have been divorced that have their pets in their paperwork. I just think it's so comical now that I look back on it, because I was so adamant about it. I was like, okay, if you're keeping her on the pet plan. She has to get groomed. If something catastrophic happens to her, you have to immediately call me. If she is possibly passing away, but we don't know, you have to talk to me about this, before making any crazy decisions. Would you ever put your dogs in custody paperwork?
Yes, I would. I remember when Javi and I got divorced, he wanted Bear. And I was like, absolutely not. You're not getting Bear. You didn't even want him when I got him.
So why are you acting brand new now?
But also, just because you brought up PetSmart, I want to remind everyone who's listening, I think PetSmart, just because I used to work there, I know, please don't forget to tip your groomers and your bathers, your dog bathers, your cat bathers, your cat groomers, whoever is taking, doing that. Because I remember, these dogs are not always great getting baths and groomed and stuff and getting their nails done. So tips are very much appreciated.
Well, I can tell you the person that Georgia goes to does such a good job on her, and she says that she is an angel in there. But I can tell you for a fact, I've been in there to pick her up, and there will be dogs trying to bite groomers in there, taking dumps on the table, like shitting walking in. And I'm like, what in the hell is actually going on?
No, literally, when I used to work there, I've had dogs bite me.
Just not fun.
No, I mean, some of them are really good. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are also smell horrible. And I was popping anal glands. So just for that factor alone, you could tip me 10.
Wait, I'm going to throw up, but I'm going to ask. I'm gagging for real as I'm asking this question. What comes out?
It's a liquid that smells like nothing. I could never in my life work at PetSmart and then go out afterwards. Like, I would have to go home and shower and there's no, let's go eat after work. Let's go drink after work. Like, there was none of that. That could not be done.
No, ma'am.
Because I would smell like wet dog and anal glands.
Like, does anal glands have a specific smell?
Yes. Anal glands smell when you smell it. Like, there's no other. It doesn't smell like poop. It doesn't smell like pee. It doesn't smell like vomit. Anal gland is its own fucking scent.
It's like fishy metal.
It's the most foul.
Wait, Kristen, can everyone hear you?
Yes.
It's like what?
It's like fishy metal smelling, like metallic-y, fishy. Like you immediately know when anal glands have secreted.
Like, even if you've never smelled it before, you'll know. You'll be like, oh, that's an anal gland.
No, like not. Oh my God!
Like, you can squeeze Georgia's if you want at home.
Shut up! No,
I'm just telling you.
I'm not squeezing buttholes. Like, what? I wouldn't even know where it's at. And no. That's immediately not happening. And I don't know how we got off on this tangent. I think it was because your ex-husband or your ex-baby daddy got called about your other child. And then I just was like, oh, well, Della's kind of my child. So,
actually, I have another confession to make that I don't know if I've said it on this podcast before. I've been using my ex's PetSmart rewards every time I go.
Wait, can I tell you guys a funny story?
Yes.
I wonder if that's a common thing that people do whenever they divorce, just to be like petty spaghetti, because
to be fair, my email's on it too, but I use his phone number.
Okay, well, I was going to Kroger to like the fuel to try to get my gas, and I would put in my phone number and it was like, you're not a member or whatever, or that ID is like not valid. And I'm like, damn it, Will, like, you've knocked me again. Like, you hit me somewhere else. And I had to go and get a whole new Kroger card and start a whole new rewards, because I guess he either took my number off of his rewards. But I'm not going to lie. Like, when I got to the pump sometimes right after we got divorced, if it said there was like 10 cents in rewards, I was like, yeah, I'm going to use that. And I know it wasn't mine because I wasn't grocery shopping there.
Well, one time I used $8 coupon. $8.
From who?
I can't tell you which ex. If they hear this, they'll go have to figure it out, because I'm not telling. But my email is attached to it, so I think it is. It's legal for me to do. Okay.
Your email's on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my phone number, but it's not his anymore either.
I love this so much. Like, listen, that is toxic. Honestly.
Wait, watch it be the new person that got the new phone number.
Wait, what?
Because they recycle phone numbers. Like, when you change your phone number, they recycle them.
Oh, interesting.
I love pair eyewear. My style is constantly evolving. And you guys know I wear different glasses all the time. You guys know I'm obsessed with my glasses. So with pair eyewear, changing your frames is easier than going to the store and buying 100 different frames, right? Because you just snap on a new design to transform your look. And I'm on this like kick right now of matching everything to Lincoln's football team. I don't know why I'm doing that. My nails match, my glasses match.
I love that.
But I have my base frames and then I have several top frames.
So basically, you are the definition of a pair eyewear endorser. Like one
Yes.
pair, endless possibilities, can match it to absolutely anything. And you can choose from a range of iconic base shapes, and they just start at $60, including prescription. So I think it's super affordable.
Yeah, I love it. I think that these are probably one of the more affordable options for, in at least my experience of buying glasses.
They also have blue light sunglasses, readers, light responsive lenses, like, and so much more. And do you know which ones you have, Kail?
So my base frames are the Reese frames in clear, and then I have the gold confetti top frames. I also have the forest green and the black tie-dye. I love all of them, and I love that how quickly I can switch them out. So even if I'm going to places in one day, I can switch out my tops if I'm changing my outfit. So there you have it.
You can get glasses as ever-changing as you are with Pair. Go to paireyewear.com/coffeeconvos for 15% off your first purchase. That's 15% off at paireyewear.com/coffeeconvos. Completely unrelated note, but I have to ask you this because I was riding in the car with Grayson over the weekend, and you know that song, it comes on, I think it's by like Waka Flocka, and it's like, I got a main bitch. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I know that. Oh, did you send me it?
Hold on. I think I have just like a little part of it. It'll just play like a little couple seconds. It is. Do you remember that song?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, in that song, it's like talking about a main bitch or a mistress. So we were like getting out at Kroger, and I was like, would you rather be a main bitch or a mistress? And then I was like, immediately have to ask everybody on Coffee Convos because I feel like there's benefits to both and then like detriments to both.
Yeah. If I'm in a situation where there is a main bitch and a side bitch,
I want to be the side one.
I want to be the side one. Well,
tell me why.
There's no responsibilities. I don't have to worry about this person sleeping in my bed every night. They're probably going to be really nice to me all the time. You know, like there's not going to be like those arguments where you're fighting in a relationship. I'm not going to have to pay bills for this person. This person's probably going to pay mine. So I'm going to get basically the better half of him, like the better mood, him or her, the better communication, all of that.
So to me, I also want to be the mistress because I'm like, okay, for all of those exact same reasons, but also I feel like I'm kind of like the chosen one. But then at the same time, are you the chosen one because they're still keeping the main one around?
Well, this goes back to the argument of who does he actually love, because he's lying to one, but staying in that relationship. There was an argument like this a while back, and it was like,
it's like that saying, if you love two people, then like, should you choose, which one should you choose? And it's, you can't love two people, like don't choose the first one or whatever. What is that saying, Kristen? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think it's generally along those lines of like, you had brought it to the podcast before, and it basically had said like, you can't be in love with two people at the same time. So pick the second one because you wouldn't have ended up with the second if you were actually in love with the first.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I would just be like pissed off if I was the first one and then he was running around with like some mistress like all over town, and then they were having a good time and I was doing like all the hard work.
Right. And that kind of goes back to like what I was saying about like the fighting and stuff. Like they're going to fight about relationship shit. They're going to fight about the mental load, the physical load, the kids, this, that, and the third. But you're probably going to be in a better mood when you're with your mistress because it's kind of an escape from reality a little bit.
But what if the person that you're with, this is a hypothetical situation, but what if the person that you're with is just like so extremely toxic that you were a mistress, then you became the main bitch.
This happened to me. What do you mean?
And then you became the mistress again.
What the fuck, Lindsie? Why are you describing my life?
Why are you outing me?
Why are you yelling at me?
Don't yell at me. But seriously, like, what if it's so toxic that you're that? Then what do?
You get the fuck out, because that was literal hell on earth.
Yes, literal.
literal hell on earth. And I actually wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy because it's so toxic and you feel like you're so in love with this person and you've never felt anything like it, just to be like literally left on your ass.
Oh yeah. Like worst feeling ever.
No,
Trust
literally
me.
like the worst
I've been there
feeling
before.
ever.
I've been there one time in my 33 years. And it truly is like the worst feeling that you can ever feel, because if you are with someone who is like such a narcissist and a pathological liar, what if you're in a situation where it's like, okay, you are a mistress, but you don't know it?
That was me.
And so then it's like, do you feel like you're accountable for what they've been doing with you when you didn't know what they were doing behind your back? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, and people gave me shit for this. They were like, you knew about her. No, I knew she was an ex. I didn't know that it was still current.
Yes.
I didn't know it was still going on. This person told me it was part of their past. So yes, I knew about her and them to a degree, but I didn't know that it was still actively going on.
Or
and
relevant.
Right. So, and then it's just so crazy how a relationship or a person in a relationship could make you feel so fucking worthless.
Yes.
Like the pain that you feel coming out of a situation like that is, you cannot compare it to anything else. It is so painful and you literally feel like worthless. Like I don't even know how else to describe it.
And then it's like, what were you doing that whole time? Just like living a lie that whole time. For me, mine was like a decent period of time that this was going on. Was yours like drug out, or did you find out in weeks, or like what?
Well, I mean, I found out after months, but then I was already so far in that I couldn't leave. And then it was just so toxic that I wanted him to pick me. And it would just be back and forth. But
that's a good question to ask everyone. Like if you found yourself in this situation and then you find out like all the intricacies of the situation and how this person has been manipulating you, would you rather be the one that is chosen or the one that is set free? Because I was in my situation, the chosen one, but wish I was the one that was set free.
Well, that's the other part of it. It's like, I was so, I don't want to say brainwashed. I want to say more like manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get out of it, but I almost want to put the blame on that person for, he knew what he was doing. So just let me go.
Yes.
Because I wasn't able to, like for all that time, why couldn't you let me go knowing that I couldn't, but this was toxic? Because he knew it was toxic. His main bitch that was a side bitch that was back to the main bitch too. We all knew it was toxic. So why didn't you let me go either?
And it's like, why would someone go back that had been, okay, so you were a main bitch and then you like didn't know that he had a mistress, and then he had a mistress and then he was in a relationship with his mistress and then broke it off with the mistress, or the mistress broke it off with him, and then he went back to the main one. Like, you aren't the chosen one.
Right. Yeah. It's a horrible situation.
It's such a scam.
It is such a scam.
It's a life scam.
I will tell you, and I don't know if you're there yet, but I will tell you that once you get so far out of it, you'll never go back. Like I remember the days like hoping and wishing that I would not fall back into it, but I knew that I would fall back into it. Now I'm in a place where I would never fall back into it. At least not with this person. I would hope that I would see more red flags in another person. But I would never fall back into it with this person, and I would never allow them to make me feel any kind of way. And then I have higher standards for my relationship now. So I will say that like once you're out of it, you are the fuck out of it.
It teaches you a lot of lessons along the way, right? It's like in some ways it's sad because it makes you lose hope in humanity in a sense. Like, wow, like how could someone actually do those actions? But then at the same time, it also helps you not be so naive to things, to watch certain red flags that should have been red flags that you weren't identifying.
But also, I want to just add this because I only just recently got to this in therapy. My therapist told me that I have to take accountability for going back every time. So that was something I was in denial. It was like, he's doing XYZ to me. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's doing that. at some point, I have to look at myself and be like, you're allowing it.
It's so crazy that you said that. Like, literally, were you listening to my therapy today?
Apparently I was. Apparently.
You were eavesdropping on me.
I'm sorry.
No, I talked to my therapist about just being like, feeling like a wounded person, and why I find myself in situations that allow people to do such horrible things to me, and that I accept those things as if I'm deserving of those things and allow them to rationalize it to me. That makes me feel bad for them, instead of realizing that like it's so toxic to me. But because I feel bad for them, I find myself in shitty relationship situations because I care more about their feelings than I care about mine. And at this point, it's like you have to find peace within yourself and realize that you are your best advocate. And you need to be looking out for yourself, because someone who's doing that to you is certainly looking out for themselves.
I just want to know how, like, I understand, like, childhood impacts adulthood to some degree and things like that. I just want to know, like, because I haven't gotten there in therapy yet, like how I ended up in that situation with that person. What led me to that? Because I want to make sure that's healed. I don't ever want to go back to something, I'll never go back to that person, but I don't ever want to go find myself in a similar situation with somebody else.
I asked my therapist literally point blank, like, what happened to me that made me think that that was normal or acceptable? Like, what is it in me that causes me to think that that's okay? Because whatever that is, we need to work on that effective immediately.
Right. I feel like human brains and human psychology is so intricate and complicated that I don't even know if there's answers. Like, are there answers?
We don't know. Kail, I want to tell you something that I did on my way home from Nashville so that I could have meals in place. I don't know what got into me, if like my mom inspired me while I was there, but guess where I ordered from?
Where'd you order from?
I ordered from Green Chef. It truly is my favorite meal kit delivery. Those of you who are listening who have never heard of Green Chef, if I cook, I typically order these meals because it just makes it so easy. And they have plans that fit literally every lifestyle. So if you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, they have so many different options. And even if you're a person that's just looking for more balanced meals, that is me for sure. Green Chef offers a range of recipes to suit your preferences. I actually tried some fajita quesadillas from them.
Oh, that sounds good.
That was on my last order and absolutely loved it so much. Have you tried those yet?
I haven't. I have not tried those.
So they have anywhere from like 24 to 30 recipes weekly, and you have an option to mix and match meals from different dietary preferences in the same box, which I think is super cool. And I think that their meat is superior to anything that I've ever ordered. I
love that they have really quick recipes that are not, I have 4 kids. I have to do homework. We have sports, things like that. And so I like that they have even 10-minute lunches. They have recipes that are 10 minutes to do. And that's like really a staple for me when I order from Green Chef. So I love that. And they're actually the only meal kit also that is both carbon and plastic offset. So they offset 100% of their carbon footprint as well as 100% of their plastic in every box. So that's really nice. I love that. My kids love it. These are meals that my kids will eat. And if you guys want to try this, we highly recommend go to greenchef.com/combos135 and use code combos135 to get $135 off across 5 boxes, and your first box ships free. So again, go to greenchef.com/combos135 and use code combos135 to get $135 off across 5 boxes, and your first box ships free.
I just casually looked towards the canal and I saw what I thought was a mannequin.
August 2nd, 1998, the body of a brilliant young scientist is found dead near the campus of Georgetown University. It was a gruesome scene.
Walking up to the body, it became apparent that there had been a sexual assault.
For more than 6 years, D.C. police had no leads and no suspects. Then, another disturbing discovery. She wasn't his only victim.
As these cases went on, the more the victims resisted, the more violent he became.
One man committing a series of heinous crimes against women, but then he just stops. 10 years go by, then 20. What would it take to finally crack the case wide open? I'm Paul Wagner. Join me for Unknown Subject, Season 3 of WTOP's American Nightmare podcast series, available October 4th on all podcast platforms.
Since we're on like all this toxic talk, I want to play this fall wedding reel for you since, we should talk about weddings after cheating.
Dude, get the fuck out of here with fall weddings. Like, can't we just not agree that nobody should be doing fucking fall weddings? Like, how stupid. It's football season. And, like, people can act like that. It's not a huge deal. Yeah, the fall weather's gorgeous. If everybody, say you have football fans and everybody happens to be on some kind of bye week and you finagle a fall wedding, the vibes are up for a fall wedding. However, it's like, no one's seen what my man Jack has to go through. I'm going to a wedding in a couple weeks. Thankfully, we don't have to, there's nothing like going on. We had to actually turn something down for busing because of that wedding. It's like having a wedding on a holiday. Just don't fucking do it. Don't have weddings on a holiday. Don't have weddings during football season.
I absolutely did not see it going there. Well, to be fair, I guess some people are college football fans, which is that's Saturdays, right?
Okay, first of all, literally, weddings consume like your weekend and like your weekend plans. And maybe this is more applicable to people in the South and like college football lovers, which could be like really anywhere in the United States, but like especially in the South. And maybe I just say that because I've always lived in the South.
I definitely think it's definitely a bigger thing in the South. I'm not saying people up here don't watch it. There's definitely college football fans, but I think it's bigger in the South for sure.
First of all, I'm just like in total agreement with that guy, period. I think fall weddings it is my favorite weather. And so I think that it's like the perfect time to get married and like the weather's just so beautiful and whatever. But also like if Clemson's playing and I get a wedding invitation, no, like not going specifically for that reason.
Wait, I got married in September.
That's fall.
That's fall. Okay.
Kristen, when did you get married?
October.
I got married on my birthday, October 23rd.
Okay, you guys are northern folks that do not like college football, and I am alarmed by everything that I just heard.
Well, I thought he was going to say like the Sunday thing for NFL, which I agree with. Sorry, Kristen, I'm pretty sure. Didn't you get married on a Sunday?
Yes, I did.
I hate Sunday anything. I hate Sunday birthday parties. I hate Sunday weddings. Because to me, most people, I don't, but most people drink and then people have to go to work the next day.
Okay, no. Also effectively, no. Although I will say, I have heard that if you do a Sunday wedding or like an off day wedding, that
Friday, it's
cheaper. And so to me, for budgeting purposes, I think that does make sense to do that.
Well, then I would go for a Friday.
No, because then you've fucked up your Saturday in the fall.
Well, right. I guess I was just talking in terms of like outside of fall purposes. I would go for a Friday or a Saturday. I'm never having a Sunday thing. Like Sunday things are not a thing for me. I'm never doing it. I don't want to get dressed up. I don't want to go out. Sundays are a no.
Okay. So I typically like to prepare for my week, but I consider my Sunday like a start of my week. We've talked about this so many times, but like it truly is like a prep day. So if I'm getting invited to something on a Sunday, and I haven't prepped for my week, then my whole week just feels off. It's just a scam. It's a fluster. Like, no, I also don't want to do that. But if I'm going to have to pick a Sunday in the fall or a Saturday in the fall or a Friday in the fall, I'm definitely picking Sunday all fucking day.
Okay.
And also, if you're inviting me to a wedding and like you're one of my good friends, so anyone who's listening to this, if you're planning on getting married in the fall and it's going to be on a Saturday, you better have lemon pepper flats and you better have a flat screen, and you actually better have multiple flat screens because we need to see all the major games that are playing so we know who's winning, who's losing, and what the lineup's going to look like for the polls.
That would actually be kind of cool if someone had a wedding. Like I'm picturing my wedding venue, which was an aquarium. If they had like flat screens on the walls and had like a game playing also. So like you could be like drinking, dancing, and watching the game all at one time. It's a win-win.
That would be absolutely amazing, but it would have to be like semi tailgate themed, right? Like I could get behind that.
Yeah. Oh, tailgate theme. That's funny.
Okay,
I'm
Todd
never
Chrisley, if
having,
he's listening to this, my plans are canceled.
I'm never having a big wedding ever again, so it doesn't matter.
I never had a wedding in the first place, but if I did get married again, hypothetically, which probably not happening, but if I did, then honestly, maybe it will be a fall wedding and maybe it will be on a Saturday and maybe it will be tailgate theme and it probably will have wings and it will have a lot of flat screens and it'll be like the party of the year. So just came up with the best plan ever. Thanks, guys.
I would probably drink at that, actually.
Wow, thanks.
I save myself to drink maybe like twice a year. It's just not my thing. So
what are you drinking if you're drinking?
I really like Fireball chased by rum chata.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
Like
I got so sick.
Rum chata after that is so good.
Kail, I got so sick off Goldschlager on my 21st birthday and it just tastes like Christmas trees blew up in my mouth and like,
Ew.
No, it's like the same vibes as Fireball and it's just like not happening. So no.
I also, I could do like a Mike's Hard. I could do like a cool, what is it called? Wine cooler. I could do like a Bahama Mama, something like fruity, girly. I don't do martinis. I'm not a margarita girl. I'm not a mimosa girl. It gives me heartburn, the orange juice. I'm very much like a fruity, girly, can't taste the alcohol kind of girl, except for Fireball is like, I could do Fireball.
Okay, well, while we're on the topic of this, and you mentioned orange juice, first of all, don't knock on a mimosa because like best drink ever. Like it's appropriate anytime. Any time of the day. Like you wake up, it's a Saturday morning, you start your laundry, football's on, mimosa. You want a brunch on a random day, mimosa. You want to
shut up.
Just like have a little glass at home after a long day of work. You know, you got the OJ flowing freely in the fridge, mimosa. Like
I don't know what, and none of my friends that I know of are casual drinkers. Like I know they exist. I see it on TikTok, but like I don't know anyone who like casually drinks throughout their day, but like I know people who smoke pot on casually throughout the day. So like, but I don't know anyone who just like has a mimosa or like drinks wine or like just casually throughout the day. Like, I don't know if I just don't have cool friends or like.
This makes me have to ask the next question. If you are drinking OJ, are you like pulp free or are you going pulp?
I want all the pulp.
All the pulp.
Give me all the pulp. I want it to feel like I sucked it out of an orange juice.
High pulp.
And out of an orange.
I want you to think that like I literally juiced that shit that morning.
Yes, like I did it myself.
Pulp. Yes.
Yep.
Kristen, are you pulp or are you pulp free?
I'm absolutely no fucking pulp. Get out of here.
Well, you're disgusting.
Get off the podcast.
Actually, you have to stay on the podcast because I have to go get my kids. So I'm actually going to dip out of here. I love y'all.
Love you. See ya.
Sorry about that. Bye, guys.
Bye.
She hates us. It's fine.
Wait, so I just have to pick up where we left off. Did you see that TikTok with the mom waxing the little girl's eyebrows?
Oh my God, yeah. Kail sent it to me and I was putting it in here and I have so many thoughts.
Can you play it? Or wait, it doesn't matter because they can only like see it waxing, right?
Yeah, so you can't hear it. How about this? You go click it yourself, watch it real quick, and then we'll reconvene.
Okay.
One eternity later.
Okay, so yes, I watched this actually yesterday. Saw it. It was like on my Explorer or whatever For You page.
Probably because of Kail. But
probably. And I saw it and I have mixed feelings about it because as a mom, I just don't know that I would do it. But also, would someone like be making fun of the child for having a unibrow? Like, I don't know.
So that's kind of where I was going with it because like, okay, take it back to like when you first started shaving your legs. Everybody like couldn't wait to shave, right? And like you'd like people would get made fun of if they had hairy legs and like most of the girls were already shaving. Mm-hmm. So is it like that? But you know, that young, like, do we think that kids care as much? Or do we think that it's more so like adults making fun of the kids, then the kids overhear it, then the kids make fun of them?
I think it's a couple things. I think that there's certain what we would consider like childhood traumas that we've had to deal with like growing up. I remember everyone that I was surrounded by was allowed to shave before I was. And so I felt like such an outcast and like left out. So I know what that felt like. So in this mom's defense, she said that her parents let her walk around with a unibrow for like her childhood. And so maybe it's some projection, like how she felt. And so she doesn't want her daughter to feel that way. But then also being self-aware of how cruel the world actually is. And will someone say something to hurt her child's feelings? Like maybe she's trying to eliminate that. Although a 3-year-old is a 3-year-old is a 3-year-old. So I'm like, any person that's going to be making fun of a 3-year-old's eyebrows because they touch, that's a them problem.
Well, 1000%. I mean, anybody who makes fun of anybody for anything, it's really a them problem.
Mm-hmm.
We've got too much important shit going on these days in the world to worry about other people and making fun of them. But I don't know. When I saw it, I was just like, what the actual fuck? Like, I didn't know how to feel. Because my first reaction was, oh my God, like she's doing that to her 3-year-old. But then I was like, well, why am I judging? Like maybe, like, I don't know. As a parent, I know Kail's like, my kid's not going to be the booger kid, so I'm going to pick my kid's nose and like I'm going to pop anybody's pimples that they have and whatever. So I'm like, I guess it's kind of along the same lines. Like,
yeah, I mean, I haven't had a child with a unibrow, so like I can't really talk about it. Jackson's always been kind of hairy for like a like light-haired kid, you know, like and I never was hairy, but he has a decent amount of like hair on his legs and his little brows were like always just like so perfect and like hairy kind of. And he's got like really long lashes and a lot of hair on his head. So if he would have had a unibrow, I'm not sure what I would have done. But I'm not sure that like waxing it and putting something on their face without them knowing that it's going to get ripped off and like hurt them. And then I'm also like, well, with little fragile skin like that, what if she would have put that wax on there and it would have ripped the skin off?
Right. I mean, the 3-year-old took it like a freaking champ.
Like a champ. Took it better than I would. So I would love to know other parents who are on here, like in that situation, what are you doing?
Yeah, I kind of want to know too.
All right, so let's take a break really quick because we need to remind you guys about Care Of. Lindsie and I have been talking about Care Of for forever, and they just have the best products, and you're going to love them. So it's Care Of is a subscription service, and they ship high-quality, personalized vitamins, supplements, powders conveniently to your door every month. Fall is here. Now is the perfect time to kind of reset your health goals. You can take their online quiz and kind of tailor your vitamins to what your health goals are.
So for me, I don't know if you feel this way, Kail, but like trying to create and stick to self-care routine is really hard, but Care Of makes it super manageable and you're able to do this long term because it just makes it so easy. For me, I think that having the little packs, and as much as I've been traveling, and then also having the packs at home to just be able to like grab right before I go to the gym is so nice. And it truly is just such an easy process. I remember like way back when I did it, I just took like this short little quiz and it's pretty in depth and it asks you all types of questions about like your lifestyle, health goals. And then it helps you just like take all of the guesswork out of it. And then they will match you with supplements that are best suited for you. They also have a thing called Gut Must line, and it's products that are aimed at managing like bloating, gas, indigestion, and weight. And I've talked about gut health before, but it is foundational to your overall health and does influence different areas of your life, like sleep, weight, your immune system, and your mood.
No, I love these. I keep the little packets by my bed. I take them at night And then also to Lindsay's point about the traveling situation, they're already in these cute little compostable packaging. And instead of taking 100 bottles with you for all the supplements you need, they're all right there with you. For 50% off your first order of Care Of, go to takecareof.com and enter code COFFEE50. Again, for 50% off your first Care Of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code COFFEE50.
We're going to play TikTok roulette, and I'm going to let Kristen pick the ones that I found because there was so much good stuff on TikTok this week that I was just like, I've got to share and I've got to talk about every one of these things, and nothing is correlated with each other.
Literally not at all. Okay, I'm going to do this one because I feel like we talk about this all the time.
Learned is love is not enough. Love is not enough for a long-term committed healthy relationship to fully work.
Facts.
My personal experience, one human being, love is not enough. And I think we've been told our whole life love is all you need. And it's just, for me, not true.
What else do you need?
Values, vision, and lifestyle.
I have a lot to say about it.
I'm interested.
I don't think that love is enough. I have found myself in recent situations realizing that, and realizing that no matter how much you love someone, it takes mindset to match that commitment of love. And if the mindset doesn't match, your values can be off by just a little bit. And I think that you have to decide like what your deal breaker values are, like what your vision for your life is. And, you know, can you stay committed to those things? And can someone else stay committed to those things that you're committed to? Because ultimately, when you make commitments to yourself and you're setting boundaries, that other person has to stay committed to respecting those boundaries. And if they can't, and all you have is love, you can love each other so much, but if nothing else matches, then you're just going to fight to get back together, to fight to get back together. And that is a toxic pattern.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think each person, it kind of goes in line, I would say, with like your deal breakers, essentially. These are things that you require plus love to like make you stay in a happy relationship. So for some people, it's, you know, they need somebody that's nurturing and caring and like obsessed with them and whatever, like that might be what they need to be in a happy relationship plus love. And if they're with somebody who requires like, I don't know, a sense of independence and like the complete polar opposite, yeah, you can love each other for a while, but that's going to get hard. It's going to start becoming way more of a choice, and it's never going to get back to the feeling of love because everything else is completely mismatched.
Well, and I think it goes back to the conversation that you and I had on the Southern Tea about being evenly yoked. And it's a conversation that I had with my parents actually this weekend, that in my raising, that I think that my parents didn't really understand biblically what exactly that meant. That doesn't mean from a financial standpoint. It doesn't mean just from a physical standpoint. It's so much deeper than that. And I think that as an adult and at 33, that I have done a lot of self-exploring and getting to know myself through the therapy process, that I know what I'm looking for. And there are certain things that I'm not going to bend on, whether it come from a value standpoint, from a vision standpoint, that no matter what that person makes me feel, it's not going to change those things.
Right. Right. And I think that's why a lot of relationships fail too. Like, I think a lot of relationships fail because they might not know their own deal breakers. So it just feels like something's wrong and it feels like something's off and they can't put their finger on it. And, you know, it takes a while. I feel like I didn't really know my deal breakers until like I knew some of them, but I feel like they also have changed over the years. So it's like, if that relationship doesn't change with it, then I think that's why a lot of people get divorced after like 20 years of marriage.
Well, I saw this one thing on social media one time, and it was a video or like a reel or something. And it was this man talking about how he felt like he had been married to multiple women throughout their marriage, and that he had to be willing to evolve and she had to be willing to evolve within their individual evolvement. So that's the only way that it'll work. And I think that that's something to definitely identify when you're looking at a relationship. Is this person going to be able to evolve as I'm evolving?
Right, exactly. Because there are some people who I would say stay stagnant throughout life. And like there's other people who are always changing. And those people are not going to be able to make it work, in my opinion.
Next TikTok.
Okay.
Man, who are you when it goes south, man? Not when you get what you want. Mm-hmm. We know when the sun's shining and you get what you want, you're going to smile. Right. Babies do that. I give them a bottle, they going to smile. Mm-hmm. I give them what they want, they going to smile. I give a puppy a snack, he going to smile. But when you don't get what you want, when it doesn't go the way you want it to, even if it affects and impacts you on a physical level, who are you? Right. Because that's the person that your kids are going to learn from. That's the person that your parents raised. Mm-hmm. That's the person that will go out and either positively or negatively affect and impact the world.
What do you think? I love that one.
It's so true. It's so true though. Like it's so easy to be a good person when everything is okay. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to be a good person when you're getting everything you want and you're not going through tough times. But I don't think that you truly get to know somebody. And this goes for like any type of relationship, in my opinion. You really don't truly get to know somebody until they're down in the dumps and you're still trying to like interact with them. Mm-hmm. And like how they choose to interact at that point, it speaks a lot. Not saying that everybody's entitled for a bad day. Everybody's entitled to like, have off times. But I feel like you really get to learn about a person when they're going through some shit.
I think that it's how you conduct yourself and handle yourself when you're facing adversity that speaks most about your character. When everything's positive and everything's going great, you're not facing any type of adversity. It's easy to smile. It's easy to be kind. It's easy to do all of the positive things. I think when you are faced with a hard situation, you have to really dig deep, for me and my faith, to be like, you know what? This is what I want to do, but this is what God tells me to do. This is the way that he tells me to lead. And I don't always handle everything the right way. I've handled lots of things the wrong way, but I think I'm also willing to learn through those hard moments, and I'm also able to self-identify when I've handled something wrong. And I think that is the difference with a lot of people, that, they're not willing to acknowledge that they have handled anything wrong and aren't willing to grow through the struggle.
Right. I mean, I totally agree with you. I feel like I've learned more about people when they're going through bad times or when I'm going through bad times than I have at any point in my life when things were going good for both people.
Agreed. 1000%. What is this about Courtney and Travis not living together?
Okay, so
tell me more.
So Kail found this TikTok. I guess she found it on TikTok, and so she's gonna have to give her opinion on like what her thoughts were of it. I think I already know her thoughts on it, what that was next week when she's back. But she found this talking about how Courtney and Travis don't actually live together. And I don't know if it's true. I don't know the validity. I didn't like fact check here, so it could be very wrong, but I'm gonna play it.
Well, according to Courtney, her and Travis do not live together. They actually live 1 block away from each other in 2 separate homes, where her kids live with her and his kids live with him. When her kids are with their dad, she sleeps at his house. And when his kids, I guess, are not around, he sleeps at her house. On the show, they're acting like they live together, but apparently they do not live together. She said maybe in the future, but not now. And folks, that is why they're always PDAing it up in public, because people who live together are bored of that shit. They don't do that anymore. So now it does make a little bit of sense.
This is exactly why people call me Kourtney Kardashian, because this is some shit that I would also do.
Please explain. Please explain what you like. Why is it that you don't want to live with somebody necessarily full time?
So, I I feel like for a lot of reasons. And I will list a couple of them. I'm sure I can like come up with more along the way. But after my divorce and moving into this house, I had never really lived anywhere by myself that was like considered mine, from my parents to then living with Will. And so the significance of my home and it being mine, and all of my things here, and maybe being able to like kind of like do whatever I want to here, is very significant. And I just love the way that I have freedom here. I don't have to worry about anyone like in my stuff. If I want to see someone, I can see them. And when I don't have to, like they can go back to their place. Also, Jackson has the entire upstairs to himself, and it's just like set up the way that I want to. I don't know. I think that it's so nice to be able to kind of like have your own space. And I don't think that that identifies, like living together is indicative of the best marriage or relationship, especially in a situation where you're combining households. You have kids with different custody schedules, your marriage being new with having children. I think that that all adds another layer. I think it would be a little bit different if it was two people who had never been married before and didn't have children. I think at that point, then it might be like a little bit different. But in this situation, I'm like, she has her routine and she has her schedule and she likes to do things her way. And he has his routine, his schedule, likes to do things his way. And they like to PDA it up and everything seems like it's going great for them. So I'm in total agreement. Love it so much. Bible.
Now, do you think that's a solution to maybe the issue of how hard it is to blend families? Like, do you think that would help is if you guys are never living together?
I think that every person and every family, if you're ever trying to blend a family, should do what feels comfortable for them. If I was going to do it, I wouldn't want to move in with someone immediately. I think that that's like a dangerous thing to do and potentially could end a relationship really fast because there's so many things to navigate through. And I think I have had this conversation in the past of moving into each other, like one or the other place, because it was either always yours or always theirs. And then if there's kids involved, it was always your kids or always my kid.
Yeah, I could see
so there's
that.
Like ownership struggles, I think, that are there. And maybe who's to say they might not be planning to build a house and like make it their own and like new, and it's new for everybody. And it's like creating a new sense of normal versus coming into someone else's normal.
If you guys never get tired of a good whodunit, then you'll love June's journey. You play as June Parker. She's an amateur detective on a quest to solve the murder.
This is perfect for us.
This is right up our alley. She is on a quest to solve the murder of her sister and uncover her family's many secrets, which if it was my family, I also would want to uncover the secrets. Like, I need to know everything. You'll need I'm just being honest. So you'll need to find objects devilishly hidden in intricate scenes full of little details before the timer runs out. And there are a variety of game modes and puzzles for you. I play these when I'm in the doctor's office. I just waiting in the waiting room, but also when I get to the school pickup lines and I'm early, I will play this game.
I absolutely love June's Journey. I think it's so much fun. And they have unique features that are going to keep you entertained. So you can chat and play with or against other players by joining a detective club. And you'll get the chance to play in a detective league and put your skills to the test. So as competitive as I am, this is absolutely perfect for me. And you can help June relive some of her fondest memories with the new memoir feature. You piece together her past to complete gorgeous albums and unlock exclusive awards like Island Beautifications. And you just are able to let your imagination run wild by decorating and structuring your island to your own taste. So this just hits so many great spots for me, and I love it so much.
Well, it's free to download, so that's a good thing. You can find your inner detective by downloading June's Journey today. It's available on Android and iOS mobile devices, as well as on PC through Facebook Games. So again, this is free to download. Definitely get it. Okay, so I just went on Instagram Live and you were on it. And, everyone was like, what are you doing with your hair? And at the time, obviously, I just didn't have time because I was getting on another podcast. But I just got the Conair Smooth Wrap hair dryer. So as soon as we get off the podcast, I'm going to go use it to finish out my look for the day because I'm going to football after this. And this is not a typical hair dryer. It's a treatment for all hair types. So traditional dryers emit only like negative ions to control frizz, but the Smooth Wrap is changing the game with innovative advanced plasma technology. So it'll wrap your hair in both positive and negative ions to rebalance the natural charge of your hair. And so the result of this is more volume and less frizz, which is exactly what I need, especially in the heat. Like I just don't ever really want to do my hair until I discovered this.
Okay, so one, thank you for the science lesson explaining it because your hair has been looking so good. It looks so smooth, so healthy looking, and it looks like there's like no frizz anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is your secret. This is what you've been using.
Well, and I know that you've talked to me about not having a whole lot of volume. So this will definitely help give you the volume that you're looking for.
Ooh, see, now I definitely have to try it.
Yes.
Again, so now I know what you've been buying off Amazon. Obviously, this is where you got the Infinity Pro by Conair Smooth Wrap hair dryer. So
yes.
Now I'm going to have to go and buy it. Thank you again for influencing me. No I'm problem. Super excited because I just feel better when my hair looks better. And it's giving you such like sleek, healthy looking hair.
And then I feel good about the day. You know what I mean? And let me just tell you, it has 3 heat and 2 speed settings. So you kind of have the freedom to switch up your hair, like your styles. And then it has a cool shop button so you can lock your style in place. So if you do anything with your like special with your hair dryer, you can kind of lock it in place. And I love that.
Okay. So I'm assuming for like my hair, I normally use like, medium heat, but you have thicker hair. So you probably use high.
Yes.
Okay, this is making sense.
You guys need to get this. Kristen's going to go get one right now. Treat yourself and your hair by searching Conair Smooth Wrap on Amazon.com to try the new drying experience with Smooth Wrap today.
So, and obviously just tell me to shut the fuck up if you don't want to cover this, but like, how old were you when your dad met Julie?
I was, I think 6 years old.
Okay, so how long was it till you like lived with them?
Not long. So when my parents went through their divorce, and trust me, they'll correct me if I am wrong. When they went through their divorce, both my parents, we were living in Atlanta at the time when they filed for divorce. So both moved back to the state of South Carolina. Or maybe just one did. I can't remember that part. But I know my dad moved back to the state of South Carolina and was temporarily living with my grandparents, trying to figure out like what exactly was going to, transpire. And then I believe we moved from my grandparents to an apartment. And then they briefly, if they didn't bring Chase home there, then Julie was pregnant there. And I believe that was like maybe 8 months to a year from the time that they started seeing each other.
So when you started having, like, obviously, your siblings, right?
Yes.
So and you were living with them, did you ever feel like, because that's still blending a family too, just because they weren't there when you first got involved, now they're there, and I'm sure that's like still blending. Like, was that hard for you? Like, did you feel like you were treated differently or?
No, but I think not at that time of my life. I don't think that came until later. But I think I was just so young to maybe even realize anything because I don't ever remember my parents ever being together. So like, I'm not probably the best one to really ask because I don't have any memories of like my biological mom and dad together ever.
Okay.
So the only memory I ever have of my dad being with anybody has been with Julie.
Okay. So literally it's like basically second nature to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I've always been curious, like, what does that process feel like where you go from like being one family unit to like now you all of a sudden are like meshing with another? And like that would, that just makes me freak out in general, just thinking about it. Like anytime I even have people that have like lived with me temporarily at my house as an adult, it freaks me out having people like in my space.
Well, I just don't love people in my space. And now that I am so possessive of like my space, my things, I just don't see that ever happening in the near future. I do, however, think that it would be easier to be with someone that did not have children if I was going to have someone either move in or like blend with that situation. I think it would be easier because there wouldn't be so much blending, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's like only one person blending as opposed to an entire family unit blending.
Yes, it would be like 2 family units blending.
Yeah, into one, and that just seems like a clusterfuck. I mean, more power to everybody who does it. I'm sure there's obviously good stories in it, but like I just don't know how you don't end up with like hurt feelings and jealousy throughout that process.
Agreed. I did want to play a song that like hit really hard. I sent it to you, Kristen, so I'm going to let you play it, but it hit really hard for me. And then I immediately don't want to talk about it. And then I immediately want to do foul play.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, while I'm ticking this off, did you want to go to like just briefly talk about the AIA awards for Coffee Convos real quick?
Yes. So I know a lot of people have been asking about the AIA awards. And when we know some information, we'll share. We do not know. Maybe you guys should go spam the AIA awards account and maybe they'll tell us more information, but we do not know. That's the info on that. If you guys are interested in us covering any of the coverage on the serial killer in California, or if you're following this, then please let us know and also send us anything that you have found because would love to have it. And also would just briefly like to discuss the Facebook groups. Like there are certain things that come across as very like catty and ugly versus being constructive criticism. So yeah, Kristen, what do you have to say about that?
Well, the Southern Tea official page is up and running for that exact reason. Baby Mamas has an official page for that exact reason. Our kitty gang, you guys are pretty great. Our admins over there are phenomenal at keeping things as, you know, positive as possible and making sure there's
big shout out to the admins of Coffee Convos Facebook group.
Yeah, the admins and mods over there are killing it. I know it's a huge group to manage. I help when I can. But, you know, we try to keep these places positive because a lot of people go in there and they trust the community and they ask all kinds of questions, and some are anonymous and some are not. And we just want it to be a safe space for everybody to go ask and get actual opinions. And we're not saying you all have to agree on anything. We're not saying we can't take feedback, but just be nice about the way you're saying stuff because it's real people reading it behind the screens. And that's all I got to say about that.
Perfect.
Now I'm going to play the song that we're not going to talk about.
Flowers aren't just useful big apologies. I guess I should have been more conscious how you spoke to me. Cause when we fight, you give me space and not communicate. And for a while I thought that's what I should appreciate. Maybe I was holding on to what I thought you were. But when you think too hard, eventually it starts to hurt. The version of you in my head now I know wasn't true. Young people fall for the wrong people. Guess my one was you.
Okay, so we're going into foul play. Am I reading?
Yes.
Okay. I have wanted to write in this foul play for a while and never had the time to actually sit down and write it, so here we go. To set the scene, it was a crispy October night with a bonfire and beers with my best friend, her boyfriend, and his brother and cousin, male. I had never drank beer before, maybe a sip here and there, but never fully committed to the Busch Light. Ew. Me and my bestie and her boyfriend drank the whole case to ourselves, so we responsibly stayed the night considering we were in no shape to drive. I snuggled in on the couch. I snuggled in on the couch, and before I knew it, I was waking up in the pitch black room, spinning.
Oh, no. We've all been in a spinning situation. This is bad.
This is very bad. I had no clue what time it was, so I tried my best to get a grip and stop all the dizziness and spinning. Y'all, it felt like I was on a never-ending carousel. Woo! We all know about this. Girlie, put your foot on the floor. Remember, this is the first time I drank beer and the first time I really let myself get drunk. Finally, I realized I couldn't stop spinning and I knew I was going to vomit. I jumped off the couch, ran up the stairs and into the bathroom. The very second I opened the bathroom door, I immediately started projectile vomiting everywhere. Oh, to really give you a description of the bathroom, as soon as you walk...
I don't know. Oh, God.
As soon as you walk in the door, you turn left. The sink is directly in front, the bathtub was on my left, and the toilet was past the bathtub, also on the left. I vomited all over the wall in front of me, the sink, the bathtub, and the floor before I made it to the toilet, where I continued to throw up everything I drank the night before. While throwing up, I also shit my pants.
Oh, my God. No.
What?
She had beer shits. Had beer shits.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really know these people that lived in this house. I maybe met them a small handful of times before, but it's not like we were all super good friends. Did I mention the dad that owns the house is an AA sponsor? Oh
my God.
This just gets worse and worse.
Yes.
They were underage. I tried to clean the bathroom the best I could, but the only thing I had to clean with was an almost empty bottle of Windex and a small bathroom hand towel. I don't remember much of the cleaning, but I'm pretty sure I got it all, hopefully. I then had to walk my shitty self over to my friend's boyfriend's room and knock on the door and beg her for sweatpants. Obviously, I couldn't tell her I shit my pants, so I told her I threw up and fell in it. They then gathered all my things and I left. My sister and I shared a car, so I had to call her to pick me up, but there was no way I was waiting around for people to wake up. Or who knows, I probably woke them all up with my projectile vomiting. At this point, I figured out that it was 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Nebraska football had a morning game, so traffic was horrible, and I was walking down the busiest street in my town, waiting for my sister to come find me and rescue me from my mortifying experience. Sorry that was such a long story, but that's only the first time I shit my pants in the 20s. Anyways, love your podcast, and both of you, please never stop.
Okay.
What?
I immediately thought that they were underage when she said Busch Light. Like, I immediately knew that this was like an underage drinking experience. That's what they could get their hands on. And also, like, did not know how to properly buy decent alcohol. So there's that. Also, if I was throwing up and also shit myself, I would hope that I would just pass away in that moment.
This is immediately why when I am stomach sick, I sit on the toilet and I throw up in a trash can, because you never know what's going to happen. I'm a pro at this point.
This has happened to you before?
Yes, this happened to me at freaking Cracker Barrel when I was younger.
Stop.
I got food poisoning at Cracker Barrel. It hit me so fast and so hard that I started projectile vomiting across the table, and the force I puked with, I immediately shit myself in the dining room of Cracker Barrel.
No.
Yep.
Immediately no. On that note, since we are talking about crimes, I want to let y'all know that Coffee Convo's True Crime will air on Monday, and we are covering Sins of Our Mother. So if you guys have not watched it and want to like very intently follow along, then make sure you watch it on Netflix. This is a very complex story, and we tried our best to cover all of the bases that we could in the amount of time that we had to cover it. So I hope that you guys all have a fantastic week. If you have not followed us on @Coffee Convos Podcast on Instagram, make sure you follow us there. And if you have not subscribed to the show, you can find us on any podcast app, and always first at Podcast One. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.